Michigan is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Gaylord Golf Mecca. And with us is Sharon Weber, who was really in on the start because her husband was really one of the main founders of the Gaylord Golf Mecca. Sharon, I bet he went to a lot of meetings.
Yes, he did, and it was interesting because he had these bunch of owners, and to have them come around and agree, it took some time, that's for sure.
Well, it was such an unusual concept, really, in that let's not compete. Let's get everybody together, and everybody will get more golfers to come and play. So it must not have been an easy thing to sell.
No, I think Dick, he played a lot of sports, and he always realized that you could do a lot as a group versus as an individual, and I think that really helped. And just encouraging them and promoting, we can make a bigger splash on the scene than just one at a time.
Well, that makes sense. The whole team mentality. You're a better team if you play together than play individually.
Right, you're right.
Well, now he played hockey at Cornell.
Yes, he did, with his twin brother, Bill. And I played 4 years, 72 to 76.
Wow. So what position did Bill play?
Bill played left wing, and Dick played right wing. And so once Coach put them on the same line, and he realized how well they played together, after that they never played on separate lines because they knew each other so well.
I can just imagine. What a fun thing to watch.
Well, yes. Plus, sometimes the other one would get the penalty for the other brother, and that was kind of interesting too. That always made it fun. And if one got into a fight, the other was there to back him up and make sure no one hurt him. So it was always challenging.
Well, now, Dick was from Toronto?
Yes, he grew up, actually he was born in Calgary, grew up in Toronto. And then he and his brother were recruited to Cornell because Toronto's a big hub of hockey.
And you went to college in Montreal, but are you from there?
Yes, I grew up in Montreal, and I went to McGill and graduated there. And then we met out in Lake Louise. We were both working out there, and the rest is history.
What a magic place.
It is. And, we lived there. We had our first child there. We moved there from there when she was a year old. And but, it was just, it was a magical place, and it was a great place if you were a young family. But then when you had to think about putting your child on a bus to Banff for 45 minutes, it made us decide that we wanted to find a place that, where we could raise a family.
So is that what brought you to Gaylord?
Yes, and Cornell alumni sent out job interviews, and one of the one was at Seagull Club, and that's how we ended up there. And it was a beautiful combination of a ski resort, which we had both worked out in Lake Louise, and the golf. So he had a lot of expertise in that, and so it was a natural flow for us, plus the family atmosphere of that resort.
Well, between golf and hockey and skiing and little kids.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It really was.
How did he find time to do so many things for Gaylord? For example, we're standing in the sportsplex, and really this wall is dedicated to him. He needed a place to play hockey.
He did, because when we moved here, he would drive to Traverse City, which was an hour and 15. And he says, "Oh, I can't do this," because often men's league was 11 at night, and he wouldn't get there back home till 2 in the morning. And then also he had a daughter who was, I guess she would have been about 10 or 11 when the sportsplex was built, but then a son coming up who he really wanted to play hockey. And that's how this all started, was his desire to have his kids and others in the community have a place they could go to locally. And then it was teamwork again, and asking people that really wanted it to come out and make this happen.
Well, it's really a stunning facility, and it must have made such a big difference because kids can not only play hockey, they can do figure skating, and there's a great swimming pool here.
That's right, and we're in an area of northern Michigan where there's so many lakes, and so these kids all get to experience swim lessons, and also they even have a volunteer program for second graders to learn to skate. So everybody gets to use the facility. So it's great. And I think it's fourth grade, they get a free swim lesson if they're part of the county. So it's a wonderful place.
It is a wonderful place. We're just watching people practice some hockey a little bit earlier, and it's just brings back memories. I played on a pond, so.
Yes, and there's a walking track outside the rink, so despite the inclement weather we get up here, people are always over here walking, and it's just used all day long.
Well, congratulations on all that. And you must have been, well, taking care of kids a lot at night yourself, but what are some of your favorite memories of the Golf Mecca in particular?
I think just the fact that we've been able to bring so many people here to northern Michigan for another reason. We have the snowmobiling and the skiing and the cross-country skiing, but having the summer besides the lakes, it's another venue to bring people to this beautiful part of Michigan. It really is, and they realize there's other things to do here when they're up golfing. So it's great for the town.
Well, you stayed, so it must be something holding you here.
It's a great place to raise a family, and there's always something going on. It really is.
One fellow in particular was just a great find, and we hit it off very well personally and professionally, and his name was Dick Weber. And Dick was a graduate of Cornell's Hotel School, where he had gone on a hockey scholarship with his twin brother. And a very bright guy, very marketing oriented, as personable as can be, and only one hitch. He was a Canadian citizen and couldn't work here in the United States. So I said, well, there are a lot of hurdles in business, and if that's the case, we'll take care of it. I want you here, and I'll give you a consulting contract right now. So Dick and I agreed to that, and we were able to get him his green card so he could move his family here, and became general manager of the club in the resort in 1984. One of the things that I'd really like you to take a look at, Dick, is this Gaylord Golf Council. We have people cooperating. We're really getting along. We're having some fun meetings. And people are sticking around and floating around our golf courses. And take a good look at that. You have a great marketing background. You're sharp as a tack. And go after that if you think it's worth it. So he said, great, I'll do that. And, well, as we say, the rest is history, isn't it? What a great guy. Just a great guy.
Hello, this is Mark Hogan. I'm the golf professional and general manager here at Seagull Club. One of my fondest memories of Dick Weber was I recall one time we were driving down to the Chicago Golf Show, and it was at the Embassy Suites Hotel, and had a long show, had a successful show, and we both wanted to get back to our family. So here we are driving, gosh, I think it was a 1982 Ford Aerostar van, and Dick was driving, and I think he was going probably 90 miles an hour to get back home, and lo and behold, here's the flashing lights and siren behind us, and we're both kind of freaking out, thinking, man, what do we do now? And Dick says, I think I'll turn my dashboard lights off and tell him that they're burnt out, and I'll tell him I didn't know how fast I was going, and maybe the cop will believe that and maybe let me off with a warning. Well, the cop, I think, was smarter than that and knew he probably had heard that story before, and unfortunately Dick got a ticket and drove home. Kind of a quiet rest of the ride home, but just some of the fun things that we've done, Dick and I together back in the day. Another story about Dick Weber was back in the day, I believe, I was working down at the TPC at Sawgrass back in 1986, and a friend of mine by the name of Scott McGregor was a member here at Seagull Club. Actually, back then it was Hidden Valley. And he had told Dick about me and about my wanting to get back to northern Michigan. I just had graduated from Ferris State University in the golf program. And he had told Dick about myself, and he and Keith Gornick had flew down to Jacksonville, Florida, to talk to me, take me out to dinner with me and my family to see if we'd be a good fit for Hidden Valley. And lo and behold, that's how my history of Otsego Club started back then, back in 1986, when Keith and Dick Weber had flown down to Jacksonville to talk to me about the possibility of coming up here for a job. And we both liked each other, and both parties had a great fit together, and here I am still here today.
Hello, I'm David Smith at Wilderness Valley in Black Forest, and I'm pleased to mention a few things about Dick Weber. Everyone knows Dick as one of the founding members of the Gaylord Golf Mecca, and of course he's added a lot of class to that organization over the years. But one of my fondest memories was when Dick and I were trying to get the cross-country ski business up and running here in northern Michigan. And we would travel by car to little radio stations and TV stations, and we were meeting at little ski areas in August and July, trying to get some interest in cross-country skiing. And Dick was a terrific guy, and I think his Canadian hockey background also carried over into the cross-country skiing. So Dick's had a lot of influence over all of us here in Gaylord, and we do miss him in the Gaylord Golf Mecca to this day. I'm happy, though, that I'm able to talk a little bit about my friend Dick Weber. Thank you.
I remember the first time I met Dick, being a Cornell graduate and me being a Michigan State graduate. We were kind of ruffling feathers a little bit there, and he did replace me at Marsh Ridge and did a marvelous job of promoting Gaylord. He was ahead of his time in the marketing concepts of where Gaylord could go. Kudos go to Dick without a question. Miss him as well. I wish he was still with us, but he has left his footprint on Gaylord, the Gaylord Golf Mecca as well.
Well, you were up there when a couple of the pioneers, Dick Weber and Don Weiss, were there. Unfortunately, they've passed away, but what are some of your remembrances of them?
Quality people. Dick Weber, who was at Hidden Valley at the time, was very instrumental in the formation of the Gaylord Golf Mecca, and a leader in the community of Gaylord. Dawn Weiss, she had the Holiday Inn in Gaylord, somebody that never could stop volunteering and helping everybody in the Gaylord area. Two very quality people that we miss greatly, but they were such a big part of the growth of the Gaylord Golf Mecca and what we've become today.
My father was a man who would do basically anything for anyone, and I know that firsthand because obviously I was his daughter. And anytime that I wanted to practice with sport, anytime that I wanted to need help with anything, he was there for me. He would drop everything he was doing, no matter how busy he was, and help me out. And I can say that that goes for a lot of people in this community that he did things for, and really set a good example for me and my brother. We've learned a lot from him, and we hope to someday, be kind of person that he was. When I was trying to practice for soccer, you juggle and the ball, and he wanted me to learn how to focus. So we had this whole session about focus. And I was juggling the ball, and he's like, okay, fine, you can get 100, fine. But let me try doing this. And he's like, okay, start juggling. So I start juggling. He starts dancing. He puts his hands together over his head and starts dancing to Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle. And he's like, now can you focus? Now can you focus? He's like, this is how you got to be able to focus, Jen. I'm like, okay. So that's my story.
I'm Will Weber, the son of Dick Weber. And one thing that I'll always remember is, when he taught me to play hockey and stuff, and when the sportsplex wasn't built yet, we drive over to Grayling or somewhere that had a hockey rink, and he'd teach me to skate and stuff, and that's how I got to be so pretty good.
Well, Sharon, you mentioned being here when the kids were really small, and now they're not. And Jennifer's out on the West Coast, so tell us a little bit about Jennifer.
She decided that with her dad being in the hotel business, she wanted to follow that path. And so once she graduated from high school here, she headed off to Cornell. Both her uncle and her dad had gone to the hotel school to receive a degree in hotel administration, so she headed off. And before that, she had been a soccer player. She did not make the Cornell soccer team, but all of a sudden she decided she needed another sport, and she ended up playing rugby, which is a very
Harder than soccer.
much harder, very, very physical. And she, the first year she was at Cornell, she ended up making the U19 national rugby team. So she got a great experience to play with other young ladies from across the country. So that was amazing. She got to play another country in rugby, and she continued to play until she got hurt, and she had to retire from that. But that was a great experience, and that was part of her time at Cornell. And then once she graduated, she decided to go out and try the West Coast. She'd grown up in the Midwest, gone to school in the East Coast, and then she decided to go out to the West Coast, and we're trying to lure her back to the closer to her brother and I. So we hope that comes soon.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Weber. I am Dick Weber's daughter, and one of two children, the oldest, and that's me. I have been living in Los Angeles area for about, I think it's been about like 5 years. I'm in sales, and right now I am a wedding consultant, and sales is my passion, and which is something that I think that I got from my father, which is he was always very good at selling things and using creative tactics to make things work. I lived in Gaylord for about until I was, until I went to Cornell. Until I went to college, which was, how old was I? I was, 18? Right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I was in Gaylord since I was 1 year old, because I was born in Banff, Alberta, Canada, which I was really happy about, and actually very disappointed that I was moved away from there. But very happy to have grown up in Gaylord because it's a beautiful community of wonderful people. I'm not sure exactly what year, but my dad was the one who came up with the idea of the Gaylord Golf Mecca, which is quite it's very clever, and it still exists today. It's a beautiful thing, and it's something that is great because it really was the foundation for tourism, and really is a great way for people to recognize Gaylord as a place to come for golf. My dad was very devoted to his work, not only at whatever, either at Seagull Club or at Marsh Ridge, but he also was devoted in the community, and that was something that I really remember, and that's really stuck with me. I really learned that it's important to wherever I'm working to make sure that you connect with the community, because that is how you also build your business, but also make a difference. And my father was very good at doing that, and he did that by going to Rotary, for example, and being very involved in that, and that was, he ended up being very recognized and getting awarded, after he passed on. But I think something that was, he went into, originally when he moved into Gaylord, and he started off at the Otsego Club, which was originally the Hidden Valley. I think the big thing for him was to really turn it around from where it was and make it into something really great. I think he saw it as an opportunity, and to build it to something even greater. And I think a lot of people now in the community would agree that it turned into something that they were really proud of, and members from downstate were really happy about it. Mm-hmm. Things that I take from my father that helped me in my life, there's a lot of things. As I had mentioned before, I really care about, making sure to be, involved in the community when it comes to business, and not just making it just about business and just about numbers, but also about, connecting to people and networking within the community as well, because it's a win for everybody, you know. And also to give back to people and making sure to do something, even if it's just one thing a year. At Christmas time, he always used to do something very special for somebody, or for like he he helped this child that didn't have, like, I think it was in a very I can't remember exactly. I think it was I don't want to get it wrong, but which poor city it was, but in one of the poorer countries, but didn't have much. I think it was blind and everything like that, but he made sure that we gave him substantial amount of things as a family, and made it a point at Christmas to speak to our family about how important it was to help him. And he would do that every year. He would do something like that. And it always makes me think about giving back to somebody, even if it's, or something, you know, in a way that helps other people every year. You know, at least even if it's just once at Christmas time, which is really what it's all about, is about really helping other people, even if it's just one person. Because we can't help everybody. You can't. But you want to do what you can and do your best. And that's, like, he always was very encouraging and of us and my family. And I think those are some of the main things. But one other really important thing would be that I really take with me from my father is integrity. My dad was a man full of integrity, and as I've gotten older, I never really, you know, I know he used to say to my mom, like, it's really hard to have, you know, really be really ethical and have real integrity in business. And I used to think, oh, you know, I don't really understand that. But as I've gotten older and I've been in my own business, I've understood the truth in that it is hard, it is difficult to make the right decisions, and to, you know, to think about everybody and their well-being, and to always be filled with integrity. And I haven't always been able to do the right thing, but he's been a role model for me, and it is my goal to continue to try to do better and to try to be more like him when it comes to doing the right thing going forward. And it can be hard sometimes, because he was, in my eyes, very very close to perfect. Even though he would always say, I'm not perfect, but he was very close to it. My decision to go to Cornell hotel school was kind of interesting how it happened, actually, because I had thought about playing soccer and going for scholarships. I had the opportunity to do so at other schools, but a couple of my teachers suggested, you know, why don't you think about going to Cornell? Just, you know, your father went there. What do you think? You know, it's an opportunity for you. And I thought, gosh, you know, it just made sense to me, because I'd been around the hospitality industry my whole life, and somehow going there made me feel like I would be more connected to him, I think. And like, kind of walking in his shoes, you know, being around, like, the same things, the same people. And when I was there, I actually, because he played hockey at Cornell, I actually got to work at the rink. I decided to work at the hockey rink so that I would actually be there, like, on the ice, next to the glass, looking at everything. So it was really fun, you know? Like, of course, it had its moments where I was like, you know, kind of had like these like moments of, you know, I can't believe I'm here. Well, first of all, I was kind of shocked that I it was happening, because it was such an opportunity that I was so blessed to get. But it was great, and yes, it did have a lot to do with the fact that my father went there, and of course my Uncle Bill, who is my dad's twin. I mean, they both went there and they had such a great experience, and so yes, I think that was a big part of it for me, and I'm still really lucky. I look back on, I got so much out of that. It was a great experience for me. So I miss Michigan. I think about it a lot, and I love Gaylord, and I love visiting. I love going back, and I'm in Los Angeles right now, and it is hard to be away from family, away from the people in Gaylord that are so wonderful and that I love, and that every time I go back to Gaylord, I just feel surrounded by love, and I get grounded and feel so good, and it's. Of course, it's completely, the plan is, out of my hands. I believe is in God's hands, but, I have, to me, as of right now, my thoughts are within the next maybe couple years is to slowly maybe move back east, because I really do want to be closer to the people I care about. And, I think it may not be exactly Gaylord, but it'll be maybe Michigan, and in between, Gaylord and maybe where Will's playing hockey, and I'll be able to get back there and see everybody, and because Michigan's such a great place. It is, and everybody's so down to earth and polite, and I mean, not everybody, but it is great, and there's so many things you can do, golf and ski and all the things that I love to do, and yes, I think it'd be something that in my future would probably happen.
Meantime, it's fun to visit out there.
Yes, it is. It's a great place.
And Will took after his father with hockey, but he also played soccer too, right?
Yes, he did through high school. He was on the high school soccer team, also on the high school hockey team. And then his senior year in hockey, all of a sudden scouts started showing up from both college and the NHL. And he was incredibly fortunate to be drafted that summer after he graduated by the Columbus Blue Jackets, second round, number 53. So that was a great experience for him and for his family to be there. And he chose to go and play in a league in Chicago for 1 year, and then he went on to Miami University at Ohio, and he played 4 years for the Miami Redhawks. And he's just finished that and graduated with a degree in business. So it's been a great experience for both mom and son, going to all the hockey games all over northern Michigan and beyond.
And I imagine Dad somewhere looking down and saying, "What a cool kid I have."
Yeah, I'm sure he's smiling all the time and saying, "Go on, buddy, hit him hard,"
Well, Gaylord is celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Gaylord Golf Mecca, and we're remembering Dick Weber. And one of the people who has a few memories is his son, Will Weber. How you doing, Will?
Great.
Well, it's great to see you in Michigan. You've been out and about playing hockey in Chicago and Ohio, and you'll be playing for the Columbus Blue Jackets, right?
Correct. Yep, that's right.
So this is the rink that wasn't here when you first started playing hockey. What was it like before that?
I remember we had an outdoor rink. It wasn't too far away from my house, but I didn't skate on that too much because at the time I was pretty young. But I remember taking trips to nearby town, Sheboygan, and because they had a rink at the time, and going over there and skating. But until this place was built, yeah, we either made the hike over to Sheboygan or went to the outdoor rink.
That's pretty far, Sheboygan.
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes, but at the time, that's what you had to do if you wanted to skate and play. So,
how did your dad first get you on the ice? Do you remember? Were you pretty small?
I think we have actually a home video of me the first time I was on the ice. I think I started crying as soon as he let me on the ice. But I think it was an outdoor rink at the Otsego Club. Actually, they used to in the winter they used to make an outdoor rink, and I remember we'd go there at nights after we got off work, and we'd go out there and skate. But so I think that was one of the first times I skated was at Otsego Club on their outdoor rink they used to make.
Do you remember the turning point when you actually liked skating?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it was in Sheboygan. It was the first time I actually, was able to skate on my own. I just remember feeling, a great sense of accomplishment. And after that, I didn't look back. I wanted to get into hockey as soon as I could and learned to play hockey at this rink. And from there, just grew up playing at this rink and all throughout Michigan. The very first day they opened it, they cut the ribbon and they had open skate. And I remember just skating around really fast, going through everybody, and there was hundreds of people out here on the ice because the whole community was basically, at the rink that night. And I just remember, it being a great time and having a lot of fun.
Well, your dad and his twin brother played hockey for Cornell. What are some of the things he passed on to you?
That was obviously, I always wanted to play college hockey, follow my dad's footsteps, and when the day came that I was given the opportunity to kind of pick a couple schools where I wanted to play and get that full scholarship to a school, it felt really good for me just to know that I'd kind of made it to where I wanted to be and reached that goal that I'd always had as a little kid. But yeah, they passed a lot on to me, and I think we had similar styles as far as the way we played. We both like to be tough-minded players and be tough to play against. And that's, from what I hear, that's how my uncle and my dad played at Cornell. They were forwards and they just grinded it out in the corners. But it means a lot to me to have that, to play college hockey and to get the degree from there, just like my dad and my uncle did.
So from Gaylord Blue Devils to Miami Redhawks to Columbus Blue Jackets, you're kind of a red, white, and blue guy, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. It's easy when I have to pick out clothes. I don't have to just stick with the same colors, exactly.
Well, for people who've played defense can be really a lot of fun. I think it's fun. Why do you like it?
I mean, I like keeping the puck out of my own net, and I think as a defenseman, it gives you the best opportunity to play physical, and that's the way I like to play. That's the style I like to play, and at the next level, if I want to be successful, that's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to be a defensive defenseman that is tough to play against, and kind of like soccer, the other team doesn't like to play against me. So.
Well, you're officially a professional hockey player now?
Yeah, that's right. I signed a few weeks ago with the Blue Jackets, and I was able, once my college season ended, I was able to go out to their farm team in Springfield, Massachusetts, and play a couple games with their farm team, and just kind of get the experience of the pro game and what it's like. But it was a great experience out there, and it got me that much more motivated to be successful at the pro level and make it to the NHL.
Well, it's kind of exciting to think that this rink led in some way to the fact that you're now a professional hockey player.
No, I mean, absolutely, and the whole town of Gaylord has been great, and without this rink and without the great people of Gaylord, I know I wouldn't be where I am today. Especially after my dad passed away, the town just rallied behind my entire family, and I can't thank them enough. And I love this town, and a lot of people in high school, they say I can't wait to get out of here, but I love this place more than anything, and I'm just so grateful to be from such a great town with so many great people.
I'd like to introduce now a really dear friend of ours from many years back, worked together out in Western Canada, Jarvis Scott.
Thank you. I've known the Webbers since about 1975. I first met Dick when he was working in the Lake Louise Inn in Lake Louise, Alberta. And he was a wonderful fellow who's greatly missed. This is the second time I've been up to the Mishaway Memorial Tournament, and I'll say what I always say when I come to Gaylord. I'm absolutely amazed by the community and to the extent that it's reached out and helped the Weber family since Dick's tragic death. I very much enjoy coming to Gaylord. Looking forward to having a great golf tournament. And I'd like to thank everybody in Gaylord on behalf of all of Dick's friends in Canada for sustaining his memory and really creating a great event.